Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a scarce and highly unusual book written by somebody called E.S.P. Haynes, who was a literary author of the early 20th century, about people he knew, people who were friends of his who died in the First World War, and about whom he had personal reminiscences. The book is called Personalia, i.e. Personal Reminiscences, by E.S.P. Haynes, published by Selwyn and Blunt in 1918, so it's very fresh, published probably even within the war, and it has a number of chapters, not all of them about individual people, some of them about surviving the war, the tragedy of survival, some of them about history and morals, a chapter on Teutons and Latins, the German and the Latin races contrasted, some about people who are less famous, Sir Harris, Nicholas, etc. But then there are two very moving sections in it, one about the poet Edward Thomas, with whom he was fairly intimate, and well, he says we were intimate friends. It talks about his reminiscences, many of them now lost and probably only recorded in this book, about Edward Thomas, his wife Helen, their times together. Somebody later on has crossed chapters out or added annotations to it, but there's quite a long chapter on Edward Thomas and personal reminiscence, and then a very unusual chapter on called Three Men of Peace, about Rupert Brooke, who was a Cambridge contemporary of his, the iconic First World War poet who died and symbolised the whole war and the death of youth in war, the handsome poet Rupert Brooke. And this is personal reminiscences of visiting him at Grantchester, of his brother Alfred, who was also killed in the First World War, and of another Cambridge young man of promise who died in the war, F.H. Keeling, a famous sort of socialist undergraduate at Trinity. So the Brookes and Keeling, he's actually called Ben Keeling, are remembered in this small but touching chapter here. Unusual item, I can find the single copy I found for sale currently on the internet is priced at £86. With the anniversary of the First World War, the 100th anniversary now here, this is a rather unusual insight into two certainly great characters of the era, Thomas and Brooke. Thanks very much indeed. Bye.